Inside Groove Live. My name is Tom Baker. This is the show where short track racing rules. And this is actually our fifth live show that we've done. We did all 4 weeks in July. Now we're starting in the month of August. And very excited to be doing this live on video on Facebook. And it's interesting because for the longest time, I've been watching our numbers as we were doing the audio show, and we always had a really, really healthy audience. And then suddenly the numbers started to drop off a little bit. And so I thought, well, before that trend continues, let's go ahead and let's try something different. Let's make a change and see if we can excite some live video folks to come over and chat with us. And so that's what we're doing. We're live on the Steering Wheel Nation Facebook and YouTube, and we're talking short track racing here. And we did a test fire here a few minutes ago, and Facebook had an issue. So I basically just stopped the stream and restarted it. So hopefully we'll get our folks back here. But again, this is a short track racing show. It's interesting because now I'm starting to get questions. Well, we used to, where's the podcast? When is the podcast coming back? We used to, Tom turned it off Spotify. No, he didn't. We just stopped doing the audio, uploading the audio version of it for a while because I really wanted to find out if I stopped it for a month, would anybody miss it? And it's interesting because I've probably gotten at least a dozen messages over the course of the last month, and I've kind of been a little cagey about what we're doing with the audio for the show. But then just today, there was somebody put a comment out, I forgot who it was, asking about the podcast, and Bill Carr tagged me in it. Thank you, Bill. And then I think it was Joshua Sixberry, one of our longest fans here. He took it off Spotify. I don't know what happened to it. It hasn't been anywhere since May. And so, no, I did this as a little bit of a test because I wasn't getting the shares I used to get of the show, and I wasn't getting the numbers of listeners that I used to get on the audio. It didn't fall off bigly, but it fell off a little bit. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to try something a little different here and just go to live video for a month. So that's what we've done. We had part of June off, and then started it back up and then moved to video here, did all of July. And we did not upload the audio from those shows. So I wanted to just see what was going on with the podcast. So those of you who like the audio, okay, I do plan to bring it back. Okay, this show is now a live show, and we want you here live every Monday at 9 because we can jump in chat and we can talk. And so, hey, Larry, how you doing? And this is our good buddy Larry Trinket in chat. If you're watching us right now, say hello and tell us where you're from. I know where you're from, Larry. It's okay. Larry is originally from Oswego, New York, like me, but he's now living somewhere in Tennessee. He didn't give me permission to say where, so we don't want anybody showing up at his house. So we'll just say he is now in Tennessee. And boy, Larry, I should have brought you on this show. I got to figure out how to, or you and I need to figure out the video thing, because need to get you on here and talk about what you saw over the weekend at the Big J Vintage Jamboree at Jennerstown Speedway in Somerset, PA. Man, I wanted to go. I just didn't. I couldn't. And very envious of those who did. Nice turnout, beautiful pictures of cars, 8 or 9 super modifieds there from the past. Yeah, it was a super jamboree. I just hopefully next year is all I can say. But But gosh, okay. So again, back to some clarification here. So just again, for those of you who are used to the audio version of the podcast, if you want me to take the time to, because this is easier, it's live for an hour and it's done. Okay. Those of you who want this on audio, you got to share it, man. It doesn't take much to share it to your family and friends. Get it out there because we need new audience. That's part of the reason I went to video. So if we're going to if you want me to then take the extra time to rip this show as an audio show and put it out, which I'm happy to do, but I need you guys to listen and I need you to share it. Because that's how we get sponsors, is with engagements and shares. So comment, listen, share. You gotta participate here. So that's that. So the audio again, we'll bring it back. We're going to start with this show, so this will be available as audio as well. I'll try to have it up by Wednesday. That's basically going to be the goal here if I'm going to do the audio, because Mondays are slammed. We got TV and then this show, but I needed to make it video because that's the medium now and it gets views. So it's kind of why we're doing it. Okay, let's get to some topics, shall we? First of all, if you missed the Tom Baker show tonight, the one that just ended on PowerTube TV, great show. Young man on that show named Drake Carty. We're going to have, I did an interview with him. He's 17. He is leading the Western States midgets points right now. This kid is a rising star. And if you're on Instagram, I think it's at Drake Carty _59, but just look him up. DRAKE. In fact, I'll type it in the chat here. DRAKECARDEY. Full interview is going to be out. We clipped about 5 minutes of it for the TV show. Full interview is going to be out on Tuesday. That's tomorrow, as we're live here on our hub, steeringwheelnation.com. And so make it a point to go watch that. It's about a 15-minute interview. Nice kid, 17 years old, great family. And he hasn't been racing very long, but oh my gosh, is he good. He got in a full-size 410 sprint car for the first time this year. Only been racing for just a couple of years here. And got into a 410 sprint car, finished top 10 right off the bat. So go check him out and go watch that interview tomorrow on the hub when we post it. We'll share it as well. By the way, if you have not subscribed to the hub, it's free. And the advantage there is that every Friday, a customized newsletter goes out. If you subscribe with your email, it's free. The hub is free. steeringwheelnation.com, free. If you join it, customized email, you pick what channels, what content you want. So if you only want IndyCar, NASCAR, and super modifieds, for example, just click those channels when you join. And if there's no content in a week about those things, you won't get a newsletter. If there is, you'll get it. It literally will come right to your inbox. The hardest thing about social right now, and it's just like with this show, there are a lot of people who still, even though I promote it every week, there's still a lot of people who don't know that I'm doing this show live now. It's because social media is such a horrible place to promote anything, because the algorithm only throws it out there if it finds it interesting. Now, oddly enough, we are over 1 million views this month in this last 30 days on our SWM Facebook. 1 million views, 300, it was almost 400,000 viewers. That's crazy. And we've been running for a couple months like that. We are just rocking. So in about 95% of that traffic are non-followers. In other words, people who don't currently follow our Facebook. We've blown it out there. And I've put about a year, almost probably a year and a half of real intense social media study to come to that point. And I'm thankful because I've learned how to properly post to each of these socials now, which took a lot of work and effort. So not patting myself on the back, just kind of, I'm still blown away by the fact that we've hit that mark. But how that relates to this is I can promote the show, but it's not like I'm going directly to your phone with that promotion. That's what the hub does. If you subscribe to our hub at steeringwheelnation.com, it's free. And then the newsletter on Friday goes straight to you. You won't miss it. It'll be in your inbox. So that's something we haven't pushed lately, and I've been very negligent about that, but it's a free tool. And of course, steeringwheelnation.com, I'm telling you, we are putting more content on that thing now than we ever have. You won't see it all when you go to it on our on the public facing homepage, because we're not putting everything there. The whole point of the hub, and I learned this only recently. I feel like an idiot, honestly. I've had this hub technology for like 4 years now, and it's brilliant. It's the best way to build a website because it's an app without needing the app store to download it. It works through a browser, so you can just interact with the content the way you would if it was a WordPress site or whatever. It's an amazing piece of technology to use. I just realized we were putting everything on the homepage. So the subscribers then had no reason to go to the channels they subscribed to because all of the content was on the homepage. And so the whole idea of the hub, the advantage of it is everybody gets a different homepage. Unless we put something on a homepage, then it's master. It goes to everybody. So the rule of thumb is our clients, our driver and team clients, okay, their content goes to everybody. That's a perk. It's part of, we want you to know who we're promoting. But other than that, and the shows, we always put the show links. We'll put, as we upload a show, and you're going to start seeing our TV shows there. If you miss it live, it'll be available on the hub. We haven't been doing that. We're going to start doing that. And so any of the longer form video that we do, we put on the master homepage for everybody to get. But the advantage to subscribing, again, it's free. Okay. Just put your email in there, sign up, because then you get the newsletter. And there will be things that will notify everybody about that when we post them. We're going to start using that more in that way, the way that it should be. We've underused the hub, so we're going to start putting it out there. Okay, so I don't want to waste too much of the show on that, but I wanted you to know. Back to the chat here. Let's see. Al Miller, are you going to be at the Oswego Classic this year doing the 350 Wing Supers? Well, I do plan to be at the Classic, Lord willing. I don't know, Al, maybe you can tell me what you mean by doing the 350 Wing Supers. I'm a little confused because I don't have anything specifically to do with the 350 Wing Supers. I'm not sure if you might be confusing me with someone else or what you mean by that. But Al, if you're still watching us, hopefully you are. I haven't bored you to death yet. Feel free to elaborate in the chat and tell me what you mean by doing the 350 Wing Supers. We try to cover, I try to cover all the classes up there, and I'm probably one of the only media that covers the Friday night stuff too. And I really, gosh, I love Jody London's divisions. I think those cars put on an amazing show at Oswego. The super stocks and the, I always call them front wheel drive cars, but compact cars, they call them front wheel drives down here. And then of course the Sportsman Modifieds on Saturday always put on great shows. So yeah, we try to cover all the divisions when we're up there. And the advantage to that is that we can then, I try to get enough interviews that we can clip for TV, and we try to put the winner the winners of each race, we try to work into TV shows. Videotaping. Yes. So I don't videotape the whole races. We never did that because we're not allowed to. Flow Racing has that. We can't, we can't, do our own personal recordings. I mean, there's some others that do, I guess, probably, but I don't want to do it from the grandstand anyway, because I can't really announce it. It just doesn't look very well. But yes, we will be videotaping interviews and all of that. And I may go live just for a little bit during some of the practices or whatever, just to give the audience a sneak peek. That's kind of how we try to do it, is wrap around coverage. And so, Lord willing, yes. And by the way, looking for some coverage sponsors for Classic Weekend. And it's a great opportunity because you get to get your business on TV. That's the advantage. And by the way, our TV show gets 4 million views a year. We're averaging a little over 1 million a quarter. And when we post a TV show, like the show that aired tonight, will now be in permanent re-air. And we get thousands of hours of airtime on PowerTube TV between our hub there, which is our Steering Wheel Nation streaming network that we have on there 24/7. You can watch me until you throw up. Don't eat Taco Bell before you start, though. But it's literally 24/7 Tom Baker shows from our entire catalog. You can see the first show, you can see it, and it's random. Every day is different. It's not programmed. It just pulls randomly. So when we promote you on this show, on the TV show, I should say, the Tom Baker show, when we promote you, you are a permanent part of that show. So if you're a business and you buy promotion in that show, a segment sponsorship, an ad, whatever it is, okay. And so what we do for races we're at, like the Classic, is, our Classic coverage this weekend brought to you by, okay. And then we'll throw your logo when we do the actual TV show itself. We'll add your logo on screen. And we do a little promo. So, and that will continue to re-air. All of our episodes we've done for the last 2 years are still re-airing. So it really it's well worth the investment. So yes, if you have a business, or if you know somebody who has a business, okay, and we're not talking thousands of dollars here at all. It's designed basically to help me fund my week up there. Okay, my trip up. So I don't make a ton of money from it. But it's just the idea that need to make sure it doesn't cost me, right? Because this is my living. So if you have a business or a business, let them know and get them in touch with me, because we'd love to have a couple of coverage sponsors for this year's Classic trip. I also obviously am planning on being at Caraway. And some of you might have seen some news about Caraway today. I'm not going to get into details because tomorrow I'm going to get the real scoop. Okay. But you might have seen an article from a couple of different short track sources that said Caraway Speedway's been sold. That's true. Okay. I'm not going to get into the details. I'm going to be speaking with the new owner of the track in the morning. So we'll have the official. And then I'm also going to talk with Randy, the general manager up there. I talked with him today a little bit. Their press release has not yet come out. So as soon as it does, you'll see it first on the SWM Media Facebook page. When the official announcement from Caraway Speedway comes out, you will see it on the SWM Facebook page tomorrow. So yeah, we'll be doing, you can look for an SWN special report on Caraway Speedway, probably sometime tomorrow, actually. So you'll see even more of me this week on camera. Aren't you excited? Glad to have Chris Murdoch in the house. Oh, good. This is awesome because those of you who give me a minute here, those of you that are watching. So, Chris wants to know my early predictions for Super Dirt Week, just 2 months away. I'll answer that question in a minute, but I want to share something, share all of you a bit about Chris with all of you because um, he snuck into the TV show we just recorded for next week, which we're going to give you. I'm going to give you a little sneak preview of a topic we talked about. It was a very lively show, and Chris Murdoch is our TV producer. Chris also works as a live events producer for World Racing Group. And I need to give Chris, I don't get a chance often enough to thank him publicly, but I'm going to for all he's done because Chris really is almost a co-founder of the whole SWM brand idea. He and I hatched it mostly together. And Chris and I, you get us in a car and we're on a car ride and we're creating stuff. It's just the way it happens. Ideas happen when we go on a car ride. We don't get to do that very much. So thank you, Chris Murdoch, and appreciate everything that you do for us with the production side of things. With that, I'll answer Chris's question. Early predictions for Super Dirt Week just 2 months away. David Gravel. I mean, come on, really? I don't know who's going to stop David Gravel at this point. I really don't. He is on a tear, and you may get some, some folks that jump up and win some races, but with the size of his points lead right now, boy, I don't know. He's going to have to go stone cold for 4 to 6 or 7 races, like below 10th, and somebody's going to have to win them all for somebody to overtake him, I think. So, David Gravel is going to win the the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Championship. I'm going this far out of the limb. So there's sprint cars. No, it's going to be great. The big block modifieds are always a toss up. I mean, that division always is very competitive, and Bobby Pierce has been waxing them in the late models, and causing some controversy along the way too. But because he's a pretty aggressive driver, but I Super Dirt Week is always fun. And I've never been to Oswego. I'm ashamed actually to say that, but I have never made it back home to Oswego for Super Dirt Week. I'm going to try this year. Again, coverage sponsorship would help. It's but that is something I'd like to do this year. I just it's always tough because sometimes it's the same weekend as Charlotte down here, and Charlotte in the fall is. I mean, those are the 2 NASCAR races anymore that I make sure I cover because it's here and it's easy. And the folks at Charlotte Motor Speedway take extremely good care of the media, and we love helping them to cover their action there. So, but that is on my bucket list for sure. Let's see. El's got another. Let me see here. Put that on screen. Okay, I'll see you at the Classic on Sunday morning. Bringing the. Oh, okay. Al, I'm sorry I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I apologize, Al. Now I know what you're referring to probably too, because I went and did the pit walk. And yes, I love doing that. I don't know who sits and watches it for 30 minutes, but I enjoy doing it. And on Sunday mornings, because there's 3 classes of super modifieds, and it's the closest thing to heaven that I can think of on earth, honestly, is the Sunday morning of Classic weekend before everything starts, seeing all the cars there and ready to rock and put on some great shows. But we appreciate you coming from Ohio. And man, that series out there, the Super Sprint series, is incredible. The Ohio 350 Super Sprint Series, a little smaller in numbers the last race or 2 because they're kind of adjusting to being a traveling series, but they had 20 total at Lancaster, and that was a really, really entertaining show. We had a little controversy. We unfortunately had some pretty hard crashes, but nonetheless, Danny Shirey walking off with a victory. and for a moment or two, Mike Bruce's helmet stuck in his Nerf bar. So that's short track racing, right, at its level best. But lots of fun there. And love that series. So thanks, Al. We appreciate it. Appreciate you tuning in. I want to talk about something that I hope you guys will get into, but this is a little bit of a preview of what next week's Tom Baker show is on PowerTube TV, 8 o'clock. We'll tell you how to watch it here in a minute. So my co-host, Jacob Seelman, again, multi-award winning open wheel racing writer. He can write about anything, but the awards he won for his sprint car coverage, sprint car midget coverage. And now our editor, and Jacob is my co-host for that show. And so it's a topics-based show. We debate topics the entire show. We have a guest sometimes, and boy, we've got a couple of biggies coming up here in the next few weeks. So we're excited about that. But a lot of times it's just topics. Well, tonight it got a little, Jacob knows how to push my buttons once in a while. So the show we record tonight, and only I could cook this up. Only I could back myself into this corner, right? For those of you who don't know, we're on at 8 o'clock on Monday nights on PowerTube. While the show's airing, we never get to watch the show live when it airs, because we're recording the next one. And so tonight's show, we started to talk about Carson Hocevar. And Carson's post, I think it was a tweet, or I guess they just call them posts now. But Carson made some comments about NASCAR being on a ventilator. And he was relating it to a race he was watching from the year 2000. And he was looking at the differences between how it was presented, the action he was seeing on the track, the way that the commentators were. I don't know if it was an ESPN race or what. I think it might have been. But he just was observing how much different it was compared to what we see today. And so Jacob teed me up to talk about the topic that was basically this. Is it too much entertainment? Are we trying too hard to make it entertaining instead of just letting the racing be the entertainment? Well, that immediately, you can't give me that topic without giving me 20 minutes to address that, because I totally believe that's what's wrong. We've crossed the line from allowing the racing to be entertaining to doing too many things artificially to make it that way. For half a century, more, 60 years, 70 years, we didn't have stage breaks. We didn't have restart zones. We didn't have choose cones. We didn't have any of this artificial crap, right? That we inject. We didn't have people like the Fox Sports people who think that we've got to put cars in a pack to make it look interesting instead of just letting the racing be interesting. And so I teed off for about 10 minutes and Jacob also responded. And then we talked about a race fan's Bill of Rights. And if there were such a thing as a race fan Bill of Rights, what would be on it? And I screwed this up on the TV show, but Jacob corrected me. I wanted to kind of regurgitate what Humpy Wheeler and Bruton Smith had always said with the 3 T's: traffic, tickets, right? Traffic, tickets, and then basically the restrooms, right? That's really what that's what the whole thing comes down to for them. And that's what they always tried to do at Charlotte, because you gotta have those things, and it's gotta be good. Get them in and out easily. Give them a nice parking lot to park in. Don't make it a mud hole just because it rains a little bit. Take care of your parking lot. Make the tickets reasonable so you can bring the family without breaking the bank, right? And the however you want to call the restroom, I guess, is the best way. Make them clean. Okay, toilets was the third T, by the way, but make them keep them clean, and make them big enough, make them adequate, and especially the ladies' room. You got to take care of the ladies' room. Otherwise, mom's not coming. So, those things are important. Those are the things we really got into some deep discussion about that. So I encourage all of you next Monday night, watch the Tom Baker Show on PowerTube TV, because you'll get more of that. And I'm, if anybody in the chat wants to make any comments about any of that, that's fine. We can discuss it right here. But otherwise, I'm going to also let you in on something else. I started the show with this. I'm going to repeat it just so, because we've had some new folks join. Drake Carty was also a guest on tonight's Tom Baker Show. Go check him out. Full interview up on the hub, steeringwheelnation.com tomorrow. He is a rising young open wheel star from the West Coast, and I know you're going to be hearing a lot more about him. So go check him out. Okay, so let's talk sprint cars for a minute, shall we? David Gravel. I want to dive into this because we had some breaking news actually before the TV show tonight. We didn't get to it, so I'm going to announce it here. David Gravel, while he's doing all the winning, we just had an announcement that we've had a team split in the World of Outlaws ranks. Three Stooges Racing and Ashton Torgerson. Ashton is left. Three Stooges Racing. That was announced just a while ago today. And this is interesting to me because, of course, Three Stooges I know very well. It's Jeff West, who I went to school with, actually. Jeff, a good friend of mine, and just someone who's been extremely successful with everything that he's done, racing-wise and, and fabrication-wise. They made a commitment to go World of Outlaws sprint car racing this year, and they parted ways with their original driver earlier in the year. He was from Australia. They put Ashton Torgerson in the car, and they've been together for a couple months now, and now Ashton has left the program. He does not know what his next move is. And I'm not going to get into a lot of diatribe about that, except to say this, because I don't know what happened. And by the way, we are on that. And before too long here, you'll see either an interview or an article pop up in steeringwheelnation.com about it. But I don't know as of this moment really what happened between the two sides. So I don't want to comment on that, but I do want to say this. Ashton Torgerson is a rising young star, and Ashton again started out the year and had himself a change to go over to the Three Stooges Racing team. And so, I don't know exactly where Ashton's going next, but I will say this. There's nobody that works any harder. I know this from a long time friendship with Jeff West and his kids. There's nobody that works any harder. And the difficulty of starting a World of Outlaws team and trying to be competitive in a season, 85, 90 races a year. Okay. It's incredibly difficult, very costly. But you can't just buy success so easily in big time sprint car racing. It doesn't work that way. Even Donnie Schatz, who would have expected Donnie Schatz to have the up and down season he's had, right? That team is a great team. But this is their first team, first time together, Donnie and his team. And he has said they're still getting things sorted out. again, this isn't always roses when you get to these big time sprint car leagues or big time dirt late model leagues like the Outlaws or the Lucas Oil Series. It's a lot of races. It's a big commitment. You're on the road for weeks at a time. And unfortunately, there's no handbook. You know, Jeff West in the super modified world builds super modifieds that have won the biggest races. I mean, you know, Bentley Warren won the Oswego Classic in a Jeff West built super in 1998. Bentley was 57. Man, that was an incredible race. I still get goosebumps when I think about that day and the reaction to Bentley's win. But this is a whole other level. And it's not that Jeff and his team, his family team, can't compete at that level. It's just hard to build that and learn everything you need to learn to compete against teams that have been doing it a long time. I'm going to throw this up. Larry Trinket, too bad about the driver situation with the Three Stooges sprint car team. Let's see if I can get, there we go. That's the one I wanted. I was fortunate to get to watch the World of Outlaws sprint races in our room with my weekend roommate, sprint car driver Van May. Oh boy. And midget driver Billy Hughes. Larry, you and I have got to have a conversation, buddy. Can't wait to hear about that. But you know, some great opportunity there for Jeff to you know, and his team to go outlaw racing, and it's just hard. It's hard. So I don't know exactly. We'll find out. Jacob is on that actually as we speak. We'll find out more about what's going on, but we've got some, Jacob's got a couple of really good interviews lined up, and I know he's trying to get Ashton as well. So we'll see if we can make that happen for this week's steeringwheelnation.com. Will be where a lot of that is, and you'll see clips from it on our socials. So if you're not following this page, this Facebook page, make sure you do. And by the way, for those of you who are used to the Inside Groove podcast Facebook page, we're going to get rid of that. I'm going to take that down this week. We're doing everything through SWN. So you won't, just make sure you follow SWN. You won't miss anything. We're just condensing a little bit. So we've got the Three Wide Life Facebook page as well that we're going to be, I've been testing some things there. We're going to revive that, which I'm really excited about. Still a big following over there. So we're going to have some fun with that. But that's going to be a lot of short track stuff and you know, some NASCAR. But so if you're not following Three Wide Life at 3 Wide Life on Facebook, go follow that one too, because we're going to have some exclusives over there. And then, of course, SWN Media as well. And if that wasn't enough, we got our Facebook group that I'm getting ready to launch here. And we're starting that for a couple of reasons. But the main reason is that we're going to start to do some driver stuff on there, and we're going to do some polls. We want to kind of use that as a fan page. So at SWN Media Facebook group, just go look it up and join it. It's actually public. We haven't kind of mass announced it yet, but it's there, so y'all can join it, and we're going to be having some fun with that as well each week. So we're just trying to, as many ways to reach you guys as we can, because honestly on here it's almost impossible. There's too many people now, too much crap, and y'all miss a lot of it. So miss a lot of what we announce, but follow this page, because this page is rocking. Okay. By the way, this is also live on our YouTube. I should be promoting that too. We just don't really do a lot with the YouTube. It's more of a place to put our videos than it is, a place where we really interact. But we just haven't quite figured out how to mix that into our network mix properly, and what role that needs to play. But if you like YouTube, it's at SWN Media. Just look it up. But we're live on both with this show every week, Facebook and YouTube. Okay. Next topic here I want to cover really quickly, because I want to finish with something, is the The super modifieds ran at, we haven't had a chance to talk much about this. Super modifieds ran at Jennerstown a couple of weeks ago now. They're about to go back racing at Oswego. And so I want to kind of bridge the gap here. So the Jennerstown race had 13 cars. Not a huge field, but my gosh, was it quality. Okay. And that was, it's funny how it worked out. I don't know if it got planned this way. I don't think it did. But it worked out that we had super modifieds last weekend at Jennerstown. And then the other day, this past Saturday, 2 days ago, we had super modifieds again. Perfect bookends. You had a huge ISMA MSS race that, I mean, Tyler Schillick just buried him, but boy, Mike McVetta, those two right now are taking it to the house on the ISMA tour. You can't catch or beat either of them right now. I can't wait to see what happens this coming weekend at Oswego. Again, here's the bridge. At Oswego for the next ISMA race, which is the 8th, and it's old timers reunion. Okay, that's what I wanted to key on here. So the super modified division is kind of, I feel like it's just sort of wobbling a little bit, right? I don't want to be doomsday, but I think it's fair to say it's wobbling a little bit. We're not seeing a lot of new blood. Okay. But the thing I love is that we can still see this is the first old timers reunion in a few years. Of course, we had COVID, and we it for a while it was tougher. A lot of it's called the old timers reunion for a reason, right? We've lost some of them, unfortunately, since the last one. This will be the first one, for example, at Oswego Speedway without Mark Letcher. And I mean, Mark was everybody's buddy, right? Mark Letcher was the ultimate class clown. He just lived to joke and laugh and make people smile. He just did. And we're going to miss him terribly at this reunion. But a number of drivers committed to attend. I know Brian Herb is coming. So it'll be fun for everybody, I'm sure, to see Brian. By the way, this event happens at the Lighthouse Lanes in Oswego, which is right on the Oswego Speedway property. Y'all know where the bowling alley is if you're an Oswego Speedway fan. And it runs from late morning right into mid-afternoon, and you can just walk up the hill and go to the track for the races, the ISMA race. And but Brian Herb, who won his only feature win at Oswego in 1982. I'm sure Larry Trinka remembers that. Probably what's less remembered is that the week after, Brian nearly won another one. He came from the back and chased Doug Hevron down when Doug was in the prime of his super modified career and nearly passed him and won his second race in a row. That was amazing. Remember that one well. But Brian will be there. Have been told that Jim Gray is coming, and Jim he was a Canadian who moved to Oswego early 70s, I think, and went racing. And Jim won his only feature in 1975, driving for Ken Reese in the 00. It was a 45-lap race, no cautions. I believe there was no cautions. Ronnie Wallace tried to catch him, just ran out of time. Jim started up front. I don't want to diminish it by saying that, though. Jim was running fast laps that night. It's just, it was good that there was no cautions because, it obviously helped. He maintained his distance and ended up winning the race. But Jim was always entertaining because, much like Brian, Jim built a lot of his own stuff, and he had some different ideas. But Jim also drove for a number of other car owners. Ken Reese, Tony Osetic was one that he drove for a couple different times. They had a couple different cars. he drove for Robin Hempel, his brother-in-law, at the end in the old Jimmy Ferrito Let Us Leaf Express car, and Jim got hurt and never came back. But Jim is still, Jim and Brian both sound mind and love talking racing. They're just great guys. So they're both going to be there. Warren Conium, I know is coming from Canada, or at least they're hoping to come from Canada. Marg Macrith, Norm Macrith's wife, is coming. And boy, I hope everybody that goes says hi to Marg. She, again, great conversationalist, loves the Oswego, loves the supers. Don't know how many of the Macrith children might be on hand, but I know that Marg is coming for sure. And I think there were a couple of more that Jimmy Ferlito mentioned the other night, but to be honest with you, I cannot remember who they were. Should have written them down when I was talking to Jimmy, but so we're going to have a number of old time drivers. And by the way, I know Jim would want me to say this. If you are an old timer from the limited super modifieds, or the 350 supers haven't been around long enough to have any old timers, but if you're an old timer from any division that raced the Oswego regular, you are welcome. Everyone is welcome. This is designed to be a reunion of generational Oswego Speedway drivers, team members, Speedway officials, whoever, right? Like, everybody's welcome. And so I'm going to have an article out hopefully on Thursday is the target. Once I know more, hopefully a fuller list of who's coming. There are a few that I think will probably come that I just I don't want to say them because I don't know that it's confirmed. But I would expect, because the ones I'm thinking of haven't missed one yet. And as far as I know, they're still in good health and such. So hopefully they would make an appearance. But, this is something that Jimmy Ferlito and his group brought back at Oswego this year for the first time in a while. And it's a great opportunity for the fans and some of the past, folks to mingle. Obviously there's a dinner. I think it's pulled pork this year and salt potatoes, and not sure what else but Lighthouse always serves a good meal during the reunion. So come and join and be part and support it, because that's, if you want it to keep coming back, you obviously have to be there and support it. So I hope you'll come and be a part of that. So I did want to talk about that a little bit. And I don't have enough information to talk a lot about the Saturday night race, in terms of, I know that it's an ISMA show. Obviously, I don't have a pre-entry list. I can tell you this. I saw that Brian Sobis, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Brian yet, but Brian and Dave Laird parted ways. So Brian is out of the Learjet. It's tough. Gosh, Dave loves to race, and I know he tried, but man, that thing has motor problems every time it hits the racetrack, and it's just hard to, it's hard. You got to kind of get past that to build any speed. So I know, I don't know, if Dave will have another driver for the car, but I know that Brian's out of it. I would expect Brian to make an appearance, if not this week, then next week, again with the SBS car that he's been driving, and dialing for Classic. And I think you're going to see a few different names coming on the 15th, which is the week after this, for the next Oswego Super Race, because some of the guys are going to want to, they're going to want to start dialing in for Classic, and that goes for the big block supers, the SBS cars, and even the 350 supers, which Al referenced earlier. I think you'll see a couple of the Ohio guys back. I would expect that you would probably see Gary Morton and Dave McKnight this weekend at the ISMA race. And I hope so, because I hope you would see both of them at the old timers reunion, because they are, after all, old timers, right? But both still in great shape, and glad to see them both still racing. They are two of the greatest guys I've ever met in the super modified division. Really enjoy Dave and Uncle Morty. So, hopefully they'll be there this weekend, and I would expect probably maybe the week after too, to try and dial in with the tailwing for Classic. So hopefully the car counts trick up, and I'm not going to speculate on the Classic just yet for car counts because I think it's a little early. I think we could see 30, maybe. I don't know. I mean, some people talk 35 every year, and it never happens. I don't think we're there. But I think maybe we get 30. I hope that Bob Bogowitz will be ready to go again next week on the 15th with his car. He had a weird issue the last race he was there at Oswego. He had it basically amounts to like a pop rivet problem where the body part of the body blew off. He tried something different there, and again, he's trying to innovate in some ways, and maybe I think he told me I'll paraphrase, he just I tried something and shouldn't have. So hopefully he needs some laps in that car under racing conditions. So hopefully they get it back and they're able to finish the season and not have any more big problems, because I don't think we know how fast that car can be. We've never really, he had motor problems last year when he brought it out for Classic. And, he's just had sort of issue after issue with it to even get it running in the races. And I really am cheering for him because, he's one of the few guys who have tried something really different. One other note for those of you who are who are going to the Oswego Speedway the next couple of weeks, the Able Racing, I'm going to see if I could get an interview with Jeff here in the next couple of days. And if we can't get it out before, well, maybe we can even have him on here if he'll come on next Monday. That would be cool. But I want him to talk about the bike giveaway because he gives away over 100. That's gotten over 100 bicycles. I think it was last year. And I don't know where they're at this year. I'll see if I can get an update for my Thursday article, Super Smack article. We've got some new recurring features we're trying here. Short Track Smack is actually what it's called. But we'll have some super modified stuff in there on Thursdays. Try to get that out as sort of a preview, but a review at the same time of what's going on. So again, this page is the key, and the hub, steeringwheelnation.com. By the way, if you're on Twitter, at the SWN Tom, on X. And then, of course, at the SWN Media is our brand X. Follow them both on X. Instagram at Tom Baker TV. I don't do as much with that as I should. I need to beef that up a little bit. And again, I'm starting to finally learn all this, how to do it right. So hang with me. But and then at the SWN Media on Instagram as well. So that gets you all of the majors. We are not on TikTok. Somebody asked me that earlier. No desire to be on TikTok. Sorry. That's just one place we're not going. And so a couple things here to end the show with. First of all, and I need to put this, I have a request for everyone here. There was a young micro sprint racer named Case Higgins who got very badly burned a week or so ago. And I've had so much going on. I should have passed it off to Jacob and let him do this sooner, but I believe there is a GoFundMe. And the problem is it happened in Oklahoma, which is not where they live. And I mean, I don't know all of the details of the accident itself. I know, again, there were some people, some sort of, he was in fire or on fire, however you want to say it, I believe for something like 37 seconds. It was bad. And I think he's 12, just a young kid. Third degree burns over about half his body, his face. He's getting better. Thank the Lord. But we're going to post this. Please, everyone, make a note. We're going to post this on the SWM Media page. I got to go find it and track it down. So on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, as we tape this, if you can give, the problem is the parents have had to miss so much work since this happened, a week or a little more ago. Because you obviously don't leave his bedside, and so it's just obviously the medical bills and missing work and all of that. It's a terribly tragic situation. So as you can, if you can, and as you feel led to, could we all just give what we can to help the family out, because that was a bad one, and nobody likes fire. And it's just the scariest thing about racing, really. And so I don't know all the details. I don't know if I want to know all the details. I sure we don't want to share them here, but I'd like for all of you to give what you can, please, and keep them in your prayers too, because that was just a really, really tragic situation. And I'm going to finish on this note, okay? One of the things that I've been paying attention to, sometimes, again, the Case Higgins thing was, that's an example of something being bigger than racing, right? Sometimes it's about people. One of the things you all know that I love, and if Larry Trick is still hanging around here, Larry and I both grew up loving music. We were both musicians. Larry played bass. I'm a drummer. Okay. I just want to finish by suggesting that all of you go search out some of the video from the current Rush tour that's going on. Now, don't lose me here. I'm bringing this up for a reason. Okay, it's not just because I'm a Rush fanatic, right? Here's two guys, Alex Lifeson, Geddy Lee, in their mid-70s. They're like 73. Okay. Their drummer, Neil Peart, passed away 6 years ago in 2020. Very tragic story. I won't go into it here. We don't need to. Here's the point. They completely, Geddy hadn't, really done much of anything musically other than, and this might have even been before Neil passed. I can't remember. Time goes so fast, but I know that when Yes got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Geddy filled in for his idol, Chris Squire, on bass at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony and played Roundabout with Yes. That was cool to watch because I know how much it must have meant to Geddy. Long story short, these guys haven't played together since 2015. Well, Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters passes away, and Dave Grohl from the band organizes a couple tribute concerts. They get all kinds of all-star musicians, Geddy and Alex back on stage, multiple different drummers at the two concerts that they had, two different locations, and first time that they've been on stage playing Rush music together since 2015. Well, now they're back on tour. Here's why I brought this up. Look, if you love something, if you're passionate about something, here these two are. If you watch this footage, Geddy sounds like he did in the 90s. He got a vocal coach who ought to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame himself for what he's done for Geddy's voice. He's got the upper register back, singing beautifully, jumping around, playing bass like he's 30. Alex clowning around more than he ever has on stage. And here's the kicker. There's a 42-year-old female drummer named Annika Niles, or Nilles, as it's formally said. Niles is the Americanized version. It's how Geddy says it. And she has brought energy to that band. Here's the moral of the story. Look, I don't care if you're a Rush fan or not. It doesn't matter. I'm bringing this up for a reason. So many times as we age, we start thinking we can't do things anymore. Well, it's all crap because those guys went to medical clinics and, kind of got a lot of their sort of aging body problems taken care of. They went, they're both, I mean, Alex doesn't sing too much, but they both went to the vocal coach, and the vocal coach must be with Getty on tour because, I mean, and you watch them, and it's so beautiful just to watch those two old farts, right? Those two Canadian old farts, um, just having so much fun playing the music that they spent 50 years creating, right? And here's this female drummer, and she's laughing and she's cutting it up, and she's a monster musician. Okay. So, again, if you love something, keep doing it. Getting old sucks. I know I'm almost 60 and, I'll be 59 actually this year. And, and the body, my back's about 86. But I mean, I just want to keep doing what I love. And they are so inspirational. It's so crazy to watch at their age. Their music never was straight ahead rock, right? It's not exactly, George Thorogood, right? It's very complicated progressive rock music. And my gosh, it's incredible to watch that. So just be inspired by it. Go look up some of the footage and be inspired by it. And that's where we're going to leave this show. We went a little bit past 10, but that's okay. Want to thank every one of you who are in the chat here. As Jim, here we go. I want to sneak this in because I didn't see this. Sorry. Larry, the Jim Gray Reese 00 that I mentioned earlier, Jim won his feature and has been restored in Ohio. I love that. I wish we could get it up to classic. I wish we could just get all of these old supers that are all in one, all in one place here. We had 8 or 9 of them at the show, and Larry, maybe we can figure out I can get some of the pictures and stuff, and we'll create some stories out of that, and some content out of those, not just the supers, but I'll see what else I can make stuff out of, because man, that's what I wanted to do so bad there. Interview the people that had the cars and hear the stories behind them, and just amazing. So more to come, okay, for content, much more. We're just getting started here on SWM Media and Steering Wheel Nation. Just really appreciate it. So that's it for this show. Thanks to everyone who joined us on the live, everyone who will be listening. We are going to post this as an audio. But I wanted to just, like I said earlier, test and see. I need you to share it, folks. You've gotta share it. Get it out there, and and comment and be involved here, because it's a lot of extra work to rip the audio and edit it and post it and all that good stuff. So, but we will start that back with this show. Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget, every Monday night, right here on Steering Wheel Nation's Facebook page at the SWM Media, Inside Groove Live, right after the Tom Baker Show, which starts at 8 on PowerTube TV. Support them both, folks. It's great content, if we do say so ourselves. We love it. We're passionate about it. And if you come in here and chat, you get to dictate the comment that I talk about live. See, the content's based on the chat. So if you want us to talk about sprint cars, come on in and feed the conversation, and we'll do it. Whatever. I'll talk any short track racing there is. All right, folks, have a great week. Everybody be safe. And again, watch for the Case Higgins GoFundMe and give what you can here. We'll post that on this page as soon as we can get it up there. Thanks to all of you again. God bless, and so long.